How has mentoring played a part in your career?
It's been patchy for me, and sometimes formal and sometimes not formal at all. I had no mentor at Macquarie for the better part of a decade. Turned out to not be very necessary to have a mentor to learn the technical skills that I progressed during my time there. That changed immediately. I joined Boston Consulting Group, where there was a bunch of middle and senior women who made it part of their job to reach out to new arrivals and make them feel welcome, whoever they were. And there was a very formal mentoring structure for senior women as well, so you couldn't really slip through the cracks.
If you were, 21-year-old Esther, going into the workforce, what would you say to yourself? Going in and taking on this big brave world of working.
Soft hands. I think my character formed very early, one of quite a few children, very competitive, very focused on, how was I going relative to others, in a rush. And looking back, when I've let that sensation kind of drive my behaviour, it's never been helpful.
What are the three challenges that you see are facing women in the industry or in the, during their career? Yeah, generally.
I feel like we have to be very bold right when we feel insecure about putting our hands up for opportunities, putting our hat in the ring for jobs. I only got the job that I got that I'm in now because I was prepared to put my hand up for something that my CV didn't quite exactly line up with. And the hiring panel were prepared to think a little bit creatively about what I might be able to step up and into and do a bit differently. But to get those opportunities, women need to move past this sort of instinctive, unless I've done something 20 times over for 10 years, I might not get it, I might not be good enough, and then they don't even put themselves forward. The second thing that I noticed in London during the GFC was the historic importance of being front of mind for managers when big decisions are being made about team structures, about promotions, etc. For a while, I think that's been very incompatible with primary carer, often women's other commitments. You can't always be there for Friday night drinks, you can't always get in for the breakfasts. And there's been a habit of if you're not in front of me, then you're not front of mind, and maybe you're not getting the work done. The pandemic that we've just lived through, for all of the problems and negative impacts that's thrown up that we've had to cope with as a community, one of the things that I think, the gifts I think that it's given us is it's forced funds management and corporates more generally, it's forced us all to adapt to a world where we're doing business and we're working with people that we're not sitting in front of. And I think women in particular will be the losers if we go back to the old ways.
Australian Unity continues to expand in the social infrastructure space. What would your advice be to people or even, companies going, heading into that industry at the moment?
It's really important, and we need all the talent we can get. Even though social infrastructure is a bit of a trendy sector at the moment, Australian Unity's been at it forever, for 180 plus years, and it's in our DNA. But that instinct arises from solving communities' biggest challenges. So it isn't about just the new shiny building or the new shiny bridge or the cutting edge engineering, although it includes all of those things, and there's a role for engineers, designers, etc. But social infrastructure, for it to be of the most value that it can to the community that it sits within, needs to be conceived of with contributions from operators, builders and developers, the community deeply involved, and then you're going to get the social infrastructure that's fit for purpose, that's flexible, and that seamlessly integrates to the community around it. So we need a broad church in in thinking through and then conceiving of and then delivering the social infrastructure for the next generations.
I totally agree with you there. I think it's so significant. And on that note, thank you very much, Esther. Thank you for your time. It's been wonderful having you share your experience and your career path.
Thanks for having me.